Boom. Hey, what's up, you guys? I've got Elijah Shaw with me here today. The Sun Seer, as some of you guys probably know that follow him on online. And it's an honor, man. It is an honor and a privilege to have you here with me today, brother.
Bro, that pleasure is mine, man. I'm glad we finally able to make it happen, though. This is good. You know, you've got a crazy schedule. I've got a crazy schedule, and we got like the stars in alignment. So I really
Yeah. No, for sure. That EP schedule, like protection schedule, you know, your time is like, it's bought and paid for sometimes, you know, so it's working miracles and stuff. But, you know, I haven't, you know, I've what I've seen of you online, I've always been really impressed with, especially that bit of media that you did. And you were talking about, you know, kind of the stuff that I'm into. You were talking about social dynamics, and you're talking about interfacing with the house when you're doing an advance for a venue, and how to like procure those relationships and really just make things work. So it's a win-win for everybody. And when I heard that, I was like, yo, I can really respect this, you know, because yeah, man, you know how it is. Cause in the industry, you have different types of personalities and egos. And the fact that you said that, I was like, this is a good dude right here, man. A good dude for sure. And
well, I think we're gonna get the compliments out of the way, because on my end, you know, I felt the same way. Like, you know, my interactions with you have been, you know, just seeing you on social media and kind of watching how you move, and I could tell you're a skilled and talented dude. But I was able to catch through a lot of your writings and stuff, and when you would post some video, oh, this guy's got a personality that's warmer than the aggression that we need in order to do the job sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's the missing link, and we can talk about that later, that I think a lot of clients miss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's skill and there's proficiency, but there's also like customer service and client relations and interpersonal support. And if you put those two together, man, you got to win. So I'm glad.
That's what's up. Nah, man, thank you. That's good. That's meaningful, man. And I think a lot of what I'm going to do, what's going to happen with this work is, you know, the whole executive protection lifestyle brand and all that stuff is really helping guys understand that, you know, understand that like, it's not all about the hard skills. You know what I'm saying? I think the industry is waking up to the reality that, you know, the hard skills may save your life, but the soft skills get you paid, keep you getting paid, you know, and really being able to be kind of in a way authentic and professional and safe and warm with your client, you know, man, that's the stuff that gives you the rapport that helps you be able to last in this game. You know, that's what I feel like.
Yeah. We don't need to be a caricature of a
right.
You know what I mean? We just need to be a protection agent that does the work.
Yeah, nah, exactly. So, yeah, man, it's an honor to have you here. It's an honor. What's with the Sun Seer, your call sign? Can I ask you that?
You know what, man? It actually kind of goes way back. I'm gonna bore the shit out of you.
That's what's up. No, that's all good. We keep going.
But I think in a past life I was like an archaeologist. I probably could tell that from some of my posts or whatever. But
yeah.
But anyway, man, I have like a big love for like ancient Greece and ancient Rome and ancient Egypt, and you know, and I was reading about this like pharaoh that was like. They kind of discovered like pieces of like his history that he was missing, and his name was like, you know, Sun Cheer, and I was like, oh, let me figure out and flip that a little bit. So anyway, so that became my call sign, and I kind of rock with it. And it's been for like, I don't know, since AOL was out. You know, remember AOL Instant Messenger?
Yeah, man, you got mail.
You still got an AOL address?
Nah, man, nah. I'm all Gmailed out now, man. Shoot. But no, that's cool. No, I totally dig that. I dig that, man. That ancient kind of old soul stuff. That's what's up. No, that's what's up. Cool. So, I guess I'll let you break it out, man. Going ahead and the infamous question. What, you know, in my experience, the EP world be dying to know. Like I go to SHOT Show, I get hit with the question. You meet a dude on a detail, you get hit with the question. It's inevitable, you know. And I always before spitting this, I always want to be like, look, this question doesn't define the human being. Although it is, I guess, in some ways pertinent, you know, but what is your background? You know, like where you come from, you know? What's
I get it, man. Yeah, for sure it's gonna come. So my story is a little bit unique, I think, in the sense that I kind of backed into this world here. I'm from Chicago. I'm from inner city Chicago, and I went to film school. I went to Columbia, and I started doing security work to pay for school, and literally as entry level as you can get. I worked at a nightclub. I literally, like, my post was at the bathroom just to make sure, like, guys couldn't go in the women's bathroom. You couldn't take drink. You know what I mean? It was that. It was like as entry level as you could get.
The bottom of the bottom dude on the that was
what? Listen, bro. No guys were going in that girl's bathroom.
On some realness, that's what's up.
I owned my space, you know what I mean?
That's what's up. That'll take you.
Anyway, I was fortunate enough that the nightclub itself was owned by one of the Chicago Bulls. And this was back in the day with Jordan and Pippen and Rodman. Remember the whole dynasty thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, I got to see them and the people that came around them, and their interactions. And I was like, yo, this is a field that I'm kind of,
digging.
What do? You know what I mean? And so, so from there, working at the club, becoming head of security eventually at the club. And then I started moving with one of the players. And so that got me a taste of, like, that experience there, you know what I mean? In terms of that type of lifestyle with no official training. So the client that I was assigned to got traded, and I didn't get that invite to move with him. So now I'm kind of back to square one, and I said, hey, what am I going to do? This is an industry I'm interested in getting in. And so then became my quest, man. My quest was to go and gain knowledge and training and information, and do what it takes to be able to get in. So anyway, fast forward, years and years and years later, eventually, and again, I've done everything, man, from uniform guard services, to private investigation service. I mean, the whole run, right? Mm-hmm. And then fast forward, so I used to work for a larger firm that did investigations and corporate protection. Okay. And throughout my years in the business and my interests, I was able to develop clientele and work with clients that were in the entertainment business. And so this was something that my previous employer didn't do. Mm-hmm. I was able to introduce them into that world, and I kind of made a mark there. And then in 1998, I started my own company. And so again, that's a long story to get to that. But in 98, I started my own company. I went off on my own. I had 2 clients that I was able to kind of develop and really work with, and I've been running ever since, man. So that's it. So yeah. So again, what I'm known for, and that's because I'm pretty heavy on trying to make sure that people understand this is a business. Executive protection is a business. So what I'm known for from a marketing perspective is working with celebrities, but my roster of clients, it also includes some Fortune 500 companies and then some high net worth individuals. And I work in the political arena some. So anyway, so I run the gambit, but what people know me for is the celebrity protection piece, and that's fine because that's what I gear my marketing towards.
Yeah, boom. That's what's up, man.
That was a lot of work, man.
No, I dig it. I love it, man. They need to know, I find it interesting, man. What do you think was what was the what was the exchange like? Like, you were guarding the bathroom and some of the players were coming in, because I have a similar story. The way I got in the game is kind of the same kind of weird little thing. Because I mean, when you got in, I'm sure it was ultra tight. Who's who, you got to be made man to be able to do this, and when I got in, it was still like good old boys, like you somebody, and then you got on the 1% of the 1% of the details, Right. So, what was it? Was it like they saw you? Was it a relationship? How did that whole thing shake out?
You know what? Again, it's about, I've always been very focused,
mm-hmm.
In terms of, like, all right, what's the end game?
Yeah.
And then how do I get to that? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so when the realization was, I went to film school, and in film school, I realized I didn't want to make movies. I paid a lot of money to find out I didn't want to do this, right? Because I love the creative process of movies. I didn't like the production side.
Uh-huh.
But when I'm doing work in security to pay for school, I realized I like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was good at it. It was kind of an innate thing. And from there, I said, okay, well, how do I get to this next level? Or how do I get to this next level, and then what's the end goal? And so then I just started trying to put myself in those positions. And the big piece is just, hey man, work hard, do your job. So if you can work hard and do your job, you know what I mean? That checks a few boxes.
You're killing everybody right now.
You're surprised how many people that doesn't click with.
Right.
But then the other thing is, and it goes back to, I guess, maybe the theme of what we're talking about here, is being personal. You know what I mean? Is understanding, like, you know what I mean? You're not a robot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That there's certain ways to talk to people, even if you're in a position of authority. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a term I use called "kill 'em with kindness." You know what I mean? Like, you can do this and get the same thing accomplished.
Yeah.
And so that leaves your name in people's brains. And I think if I look back and I reflect, it was these people knew me from the pack. You know what I mean? There was something that I was able to distinguish myself. And I should mention, and you could probably relate to this, you think prototypical security, I'm not the biggest guy, particularly in the celebrity arena. You know what I mean? But something, and I'm not blowing my own horn, but when I'm saying that something is, I understood what it was, what the job was, and there's some things that you don't need to do the job all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's exactly what's up. No, I totally relate with you, bro. I'm like 5'10", 5'11" with my church shoes on. You know what I'm saying?
You're like a giant, fam.
No, I appreciate it. But yeah, no, that's good stuff, man. I really appreciate hearing all that. My story is kind of the same, man. I was just bouncing and bouncing up in like Dana Point at this like kind of dive bar. But I felt like my guiding light, like God said, go here, bounce at this place, and boom, you're going to be a bodyguard, and you're going to travel the world. Like straight up to the point where I had to fight my girlfriend at the time. I was like, yo, this is what he told me to do. I'm about to do it. And she was like, you're crazy. And I was like, nah, this is the voice that saved my life in Iraq. This is the voice that I helped save my whole family with when I was little. I know when I hear this joint, I got to go. And she just was like, God didn't tell you to do that. I was like, that's why I feel, man. So I went and I did. And I told her, I was like, when this goes down the way that I'm saying it's going to go down, just, believe I'm not crazy. Just believe. And sure enough, man, 3 months went by. I'm busting tables. I'm a bouncer. I got to bust the tables. You know what I mean? Like, but that own your own space piece, like you said, just do your job and then some, kind of all that stuff, gaining rapport with people, like default respectful. Like in one of the earlier podcasts, I talked with a dude who actually brought me into the game, and that default respectful piece is huge, man, because every time you're able to give someone a positive interaction with you and you're able to treat someone with respect, which is so rare now, it's even more powerful if you can be respectful to people, because they're starving for it. They're not getting respect from even their families nowadays. You know what I mean? So that whole default respectful piece, and I check their IDs at the door. I don't know who I'm talking to. I was respectful. The guy next to me wasn't respectful. He was just kind of like your prototypical tough guy, bouncer dude. And at the end of the night, I'm busting tables, and they're like, hey, have this guy do it. And they end up snatching me out of there. And I blink, and I'm on, I'm on my first job interview in Rodeo Drive, Beverly Hills in the back of a Bentley, like, oh my gosh, so it's the grace of God. But also, like, those principles that you're talking about, being personable, being relatable, owning your space. And then nowadays, like, it's a gimme. If you just do your job well, you're gonna smoke half the people on the track,
And one of the reasons is because, a lot of people look for the shortcut.
Yeah.
And there definitely are shortcuts. If there weren't shortcuts, the name wouldn't exist. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's usually not shortcuts and longevity. And that's what happens. So you can get there quick.
Man's dropping wisdom right here, right? That's the good stuff. Right?
But I don't ever see people that do that stay there. You know what I mean? And again, man, this is the only thing I've ever done. So I never try to think of myself as an old guy, but I guess at this point here, I'm kind of getting up there. So, but I mean, what I say is that I've watched it though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I see people that can get in easy, but they never stay around.
Yeah.
There's some people that just put their head down, man, and just grind. When that window of opportunity presents themselves, they got to be ready to perform. You know what I mean? But those are the guys that have longevity.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Because they have all the internal gears. They spent the time under the streetlights to build it all. So like they genuinely are that thing they've been working towards. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to flinch. Like they're like, nah, like I know who I am. I've been through worse to get here, you know? So let's do this, man. That's what's up. If it comes easy, it goes easy, I guess, is what it's what the old heads would say. So no, that's what's up, man. I'm totally digging that. That's the stuff that separates people in this industry for sure. So we're getting to the questions. We just flowing, but what would you say you love about this industry the most? And then obviously, you know, the inverse of the question as well.
Right, at least. Well, what I love about the industry, and I guess probably hands down when I think about it, is that it's afforded me so many opportunities that I wouldn't normally have.
Yeah.
Started off our conversation, man. I grew up in inner city Chicago,
like in the dark spot.
Right. Yeah, like I grew up in the projects, man. Like, and, like you know, I have friends that have never left the neighborhood. I'm not even talking about the state.
Yeah,
I'm talking about left the neighborhood. So, but I say that to say that, you know, I've always had aspirations. I've always, you know, see things and go places. Like I said, I wanted to be an archaeologist. You know what I mean? Some shit. You know, like you know, like wow, this is amazing over here. But those were things where you're like, wow, that would be cool. Mm-hmm. But you don't think I'm going to be there. Mm-hmm. This job, this career has allowed me to be in those places. You know what I mean? Like all of those things. And again, it was never for me. And again, people have different motivators. Glitz and glamour was never it for me. Mm-mm. But an opportunity to see the world, like, yo, you know what I mean? Like
that's like one of the most amazing things in the world, man.
Amazing. Like, you know what I mean? That pushes buttons for me. You know, I've been to 6 or 7 continents. Mm-hmm. You know, I went to Antarctica and I got all 7 checked off.
Wow.
I'm reason to go to Antarctica, but I guess I'm going to go just to go so I can at least say I've done that.
Right.
But, you know, like those are opportunities, man. And this business has done that. Mm-hmm. And you know, now I travel in my leisure time because I have that travel bug. But a lot of the travel I've done has been work related. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And this business can afford you that opportunity. Now, again, you have to respect it and you have to understand that, hey, if you're there to work, you're there to work. You know what I mean?
Talk,
but, you know, but, you know, once you understand the job and the duties and what it entails and all of the contingencies, there are opportunities for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
100%. You know, I kind of tell people, and I'm going on a little bit of tangent. You can
no, it's fine, man. Just flow.
You know, a lot of people in our business, they want to be the body man. They want to stand right next to the protectee, right? Right. And I'm like, yo, listen, if you're the advanced guy, you get there ahead of us,
right?
Get the job done.
Yep.
Enjoy it.
Exactly,
like,
man.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yep. All over the place. All over the place.
Yeah. Yep. These days I'm sitting back, you know, and I'm with the P, and my guys are like, "Oh yeah, we got this done, and now we're going to, you know, see a waterfall or something." You know what I mean? But I mean, like, you know, just think about that. So so this business has afforded me a lot of opportunities in that sense there, in terms of to see the world and interact with people and broaden up just you know, my thoughts, man. You know what I mean? Like
perspective.
Yeah, perspective, exactly.
That traveling gives you so much perspective.
For sure, how you relate with other cultures and interact with other people, man. And I see things, particularly now in our current climate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are so divided, and you're like, we're either this or you're this.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, man.
There's so much other.
The world is big. Like,
right.
The things that you guys are thinking are like, it's only this or that. There are people that have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
And live their lives every day. So,
and are happier than you.
And are way happier than you. Like the world didn't end because, you know, you were red or blue or something like that.
Yeah.
See those colors. But anyway, so the job has given me that perspective, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
But now let's talk about the other side here, right?
Yeah. I have to agree with you on that one though, man. Like straight up perspective shift, paradigm shift. Yeah. There are a few things I think in life, like seeing the world, like there's just few things that can really do that much for you internally, you know? And once you really realize how big and small this thing is, it's like, man, I don't know. It's a beautiful thing. I see the providence in it. I love it, you know? And now for me, the game is just bringing my wife to all these different places that I've been to, you know?
Oh, you get to go back and circle back.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, that's what's up. I would say that's a great perk, actually. I mean, yeah, that and seeing behind the veil. Something that really helped me with was a lot of the things that people aim for in life. I got to realize that they weren't all that they were cracked up to be. You know what I'm saying? Because you get to see behind that veil. You know, so you get to see behind the social media. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you get to get back in the car or the jet with, you know, people and be like, man, there's a lot of people working for this, but this ain't everything, you know?
Hey, brother, it's about as cliche as it can get.
Right?
But I can tell you firsthand, and you're with me here, I think, money doesn't buy happiness.
It really doesn't, man. I hate saying it to people because I know what they don't believe.
Yeah, right.
You know, they're like, yeah, well, it'll get me close. I'm like, maybe, bro. I don't know. I've been sitting, you know, I've been in situations where you're supposed to be happy, and little old me, like the poorest dude in the room was the happiest dude in the room. You know, it's true.
And you know, and I think that's the thing that doesn't translate well.
Yeah,
you've seen it. And that's what I'm saying. I've seen it, and I can attest to it. You know, I've been with ultra high net worth people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're depressed, so they feel like they need something else, or this and that. So that's one thing about this business, man. It does. It gives us perspective.
Boom. That's like the principle coming out of there. Like, no, you know what I mean? Like that's the cookie burger. We just found it. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Perspective, man. I dig that. That's what's up. And then on the inverse side of it, man, what do you got?
And the worst thing about the business, that shouldn't be a hard one, but I think one of the toughest things about the business is that we make it hard on ourselves, mostly by infighting. And what I mean by that is that, you know, obviously to be in the protection industry, you usually are geared towards having an alpha personality. You know, your pack leaders for the most part. Yeah, and so what happens is that in our profession, which is weird when I compare it to other professions, is like Highlander. Like there can only be it's like
it's so good. It's so good.
Good, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And
there can only be one. Oh man.
But it's not like that. It's you know what I mean? The number of high net worth individuals, the number of people that need protective services. So, but we make it seem like, yo, there's only one client.
Right.
I'm not working him. You know what I mean? This guy here is trash, and I got to trash talk him, and I got to do it. You know, and you don't do that.
Yeah.
And it's the thing, like, particularly with social media, too. You know what I mean? I don't want to get on a soapbox, but particularly with social media, it gives people an outlet to voice their opinions, which is fine. But I never see, like, lawyers trash talking each other.
Right.
I never see doctors. I never see taxi drivers. Like all these other industries, man, when something goes wrong, they close ranks.
Yeah,
you know, law enforcement, military, they close ranks and they're like, all right, cool. We're going to protect our own, you know. But in ours, man, the minute TMZ reports something happened, man,
everyone got daggers out.
He's trash. He should be fired immediately. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, the only thing you know about this is the story
that you just read.
Right. From a news agency that's whole job is to get views and clicks. Like, you don't know the story, so why are you so quick to kind of, you know, throw the baby out? You know what I mean? Like, and so I think that's the part there, and the reason why, and I was hesitant to say that's the worst part, but the reason why I think it's bad is because for the next generation, that's what they see.
Yeah. And
as soon as they start experiencing that, what they do is they get turned off on the industry. Or they adopt those patterns, and that's what develops that cutthroat mentality. And I think ultimately that messes things up as a whole. You know what I mean? Because if you think about where there's that soapbox thing. But our thing started off, man, as like an honorable profession. You know what I mean? We trace this stuff back to like the samurai. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And you know the Praetorian Guard. Like these are honorable professions that we do, man. And then And then when we start being mercenaries to the sense of like, hey, listen, it's just about me. I don't care about anybody else. That's the only way I can win. I think that damages our profession.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with you, man. I completely agree with you. And it kills me because we know these same news outlets, you know, we see the accuracy of the stories that they be trying.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
These guys were lying about your client on Tuesday, bro. You know, like, but it is, yo.
The presumption of innocence. It's like,
right?
As soon as something happens, we're like, see?
Burn them at the stakes. Everybody gets their daggers out. You know what I mean? And I completely agree. Yo, when you said Highlander, I almost lost it because that's how it is, man. Like, sure. Dudes get on the detail, you know what I'm saying? They're in the chase, and you hear that, like, music, like the Highlander music start up. The dude's like, what's your background? Dude's like, what's your background? It's like Step Brothers or something happening. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you immediately start them up.
Yeah, man, sizing dude up. Yeah, man. And I think one of the principles that has helped me in the industry is, yo, a rising tide lifts all ships, man. So a rising tide lifts all ships at sea. So I'm like always doing everything I can to like bring up my team and bring up everyone around me. And what I've learned is like, yo, it's like there's an art to it. It's almost like a dark art of influence when you really start to understand it on a more deeper level, because what ends up happening is once everyone understands that you actually have everyone's best interest at heart, because you realize, you wake up to the fact that your best interest is generally tied to theirs in some way, shape, or form, they're really, really, really likely to want to listen to you, and really, really likely to want to work with you, and likely to call you back, and likely to be like, yo, like you can influence because you can create the most win-win situations, or at least your aim is to do that.
Sure.
And so that becomes like kind of, that's the game.
Yeah,
right. That's like the social dynamics of the game, man. And I get new dudes on details sometimes, and you know, everybody wants to do everyone wants to get that FaceTime. You know what I mean? With the client, like you're saying, wants to be that body man. You know what I'm saying? And I try to add a little bit of gravity to it. You know, was it Marcus Aurelius? You know, had that servant that walk around with him and be like, "You're just a man. You're only a man," and just remind him, "You're only a man." You know, but I would just be like, "Hey, you know, you're gonna get in here. You're gonna be the flavor of the month." You know what I'm saying? Like in certain contexts, you're gonna be the flavor of the month. You're gonna be the new shiny thing, the new, you know, the new thing. But the reality is, the power to survive in this game lies with your team. Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, and I always let them know, like, you know, you're gonna make mistakes. There's a high probability that the client's gonna ask about you. You know what I'm saying? And if you're able to take care of everyone when you're in here, everyone's gonna take care of you. You know what I'm saying? So don't forget, you know, don't forget on your way up, you know what I'm saying? That your power really lies in the team. And, you know, I just don't forget that, you know, rising tide lifts all ships, man. That's what's up, man. You know, that's what's up. What would you say to guys getting into the industry? So dudes on the outside, you know, looking at executive protection, what are some things you think they need to know as they're looking at this game?
Well, I think particularly for, I mean, like, you know, guys that have an interest and they want to get in, a lot of times they'll see someone like me, someone like you, or just even just, you know, watching TV or you know what I mean? Like, that's the end result. That's, you know what I mean? That's what you're seeing is the end result. So guys that want to get in want to go from zero to that end result.
That hero, yeah.
But there's a lot of pieces in between. Now, there are some people, like I mentioned before, that can luck into something, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, they're on the detail, you know what I mean? They're moving, whatever.
Yeah.
But for the most part, man, there's a process. And if you follow the process, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of process. There's a lot of different avenues. But if you follow those steps, man, then when you get there, you've got this strong foundation.
Right.
You know what I mean? You've got people in your corner, like you mentioned. You know what I mean? That, you know, because at some point, favor is going to turn. You know what I mean? Like people that are supporting you or whatever or at some point that phone's going to stop ringing. So if you only have one client,
yep.
And when that separation of service occurs, if you got no other relationships, if you got no other skills,
no other network,
back to zero, right? Exactly.
Right.
So one of the things I try and tell people, man, is figure out the process.
Mm-hmm.
Spend some time thinking about that. Definitely. Here's your end result. I want to do this. I want to do diplomatic security. I want to do work with corporations. I want to work with the clergy. Whatever that is, that's your end result.
Yeah.
But now, what are the steps that are going to get you there? And then do those methodically. You know what I mean? And I think particularly for younger guys, they're hungry. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe they're fresh out of the military or something, or they're hungry and they just want to get there. And they might see some people who were there that they figure, hey, man, he's doing it. I can do that same thing,
Right. From the outside looking in.
The outside looking in, you know what I mean? But there's a lot of things that go on in the background. And so that's what I kind of caution them with that, is that just figure out your plan. When I started my company,
mm-hmm.
I wrote my business plan in just this little notebook. And I still have the notebook.
Awesome.
But I wrote my business plan in this notebook. But I wrote the business plan and I did operations in there as if I was already working with these clients. So basically almost like a vision board, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what it did was it gave me a path. Okay, once we hit the ground running, like do this step, then this step, then this step. Don't forget the process, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to, at this stage of the game, go back and refer to that, because I don't want to get too far away from those core principles. And I think for new guys, man, again, I get on these tangents sometimes, so that's why.
Bro. I let you run, man. I love it. This is such good stuff.
But I think for the new guys, man, they need to have a business plan, because the protection world, this is executive protection, it's a business stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to have a plan for that. You can't just say, all right, cool, and a year from now, I'm going to be a bodyguard. You know what I mean? Like, what's your plan?
Yeah.
And that should include two really key things, man, which is training, and that's recognized training. And then the other thing is networking, but that's quality networking.
Yeah.
So again, it was two things. It was recognized training, and then there was quality networking. And if you put those two things together, you get an advantage over all of the guys trying to do the exact same thing that don't have that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And then it happens. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the formula, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. So the other thing is that I think people chase after the same gold ring.
That's deep, man. I'm digging that.
Like everybody is like, oh, okay, this is what I'm,
Yeah.
So many different types of clients. There's so many different types of opportunities out here. You know what I mean? We only see this one thing. You know what I mean? It's like related to like the music business. There's the Grammys, but there's also the American Music Awards. You know what I mean? There's the Country Music Awards. There's the Video Music Awards. There's different awards that you can get. There's the Songwriters Awards. You know what I mean? In our business, it's like that too with clients.
Absolutely.
So many different types of clients, but we all kind of chase after the same thing.
Right.
So then you wonder why the phone doesn't ring. You know?
Yeah.
Nah, man, just sit back and think about it for a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's other opportunities if you have to think outside the box and you have to shift things a little bit to the side. You know, again, at the company that I used to work for, going back to my beginnings, they did a lot of corporate protection. So that meant when I'm in those meetings or when I'm with the other staff, they all got backgrounds dealing with corporate protection. But my background by that stage had been dealing with celebrities. So I had something that made me unique. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
I was able to take that part, and then the owners of the company were like, oh, wow, here's an avenue that's a space now that we could be in, and I've already got the advantage because I've got the head start in that space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So you have to send me on the assignment or get my advice on it. Or
right, because you're like their specialists. You're like they're specialists.
Own that space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think guys need to do that, man. When they're getting in, and one thing I try and tell them to do is, when you want to transition into this business, figure out what you have in your background that makes you unique.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Figure that piece out there, and then start tailoring where you're going and use that as some extra, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, secret sauce, man.
Separators. So, you know, there's a guy, man.
Separators, that's good.
I can't think of his name because it's hard to pronounce, but he's one of the richest people in the world.
Okay.
He runs ultra marathons. I think he's Indian.
Okay.
He runs ultra marathons.
Ultra marathons, not marathons. Yo, how far is an ultra marathon, man? Do you know how far? Well, I'm not even. Hey, ultra marathons.
I ran a 5K. I felt like so confident.
Right. So confident. That's what's up. That's what's up.
But that's my point, though.
Yeah.
But think about it. Your background, you were a long distance runner, or you ran marathons. Like, that's the kind of client. If I'm deciding I want to try and work for high net worth individuals, I want to start gearing myself towards these guys, because if nothing else, that part of your resume is going to get a decision maker's attention. At least they'll look twice at it.
Yeah, because they got dudes on their detail, and they're like, "Yo, who's gonna go run with the principal today?"
Like, when you know what I mean? When that person at HR or that know executive assistant is looking at it like, "Oh, well, this guy's a runner." If nothing else, it just gets them to spend a couple more seconds on your CV.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think everybody has something that's unique to them, something in their background.
You do.
You know what I mean? Everybody has something, and I think if you could use that to your advantage, that's going to give you the leg up over the competition.
100%, because it's organic, it's authentic, it's you. Like, the work's already been done for you to gain that. I agree 100%, and it's like the alchemy of who you are. You know, it's like, I mean, even, you know, like things that have happened to you that you've come through, man. I use the military heavy, you know, and I mean, that's a great one. That's an obvious one. But, you know, the military thing, man, that has definitely helped me gain rapport with a lot of individuals, you know. Is there anything else that I've really leveraged? You know, not off the top of my head, but no, that's good stuff, man. And to someone who's like out on the outside looking in, go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you right now, there's a few things that I know that you're leveraging now.
What's that?
I'm not even gonna tell them here. I'm not gonna give it to the competition. We're gonna be offline. I've already see it right now.
Yeah, that's what's up.
You by yourself, you're like, yo, you told your girl, like, yo, I'm gonna be doing this here. I already see what you're gonna be doing.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about this offline.
The sun seers guy, he sees me, man. That's what's up. No, it's good, man. I feel that. I look forward to that, man. Put me on game here, man. A lot. This is good stuff, man. And yeah, have a plan, you know, because really with EP now, with the private security industry, I read something that said that our industry is looking like it may double in the next 10 years. The direction the world's going in, that seems to make sense. You know, it seems to be somewhat probable of a probability even. And now, man, like, you always hear the last generation say the next generation's got it pretty good. But as I look at the game, it looks like you've got like big companies now. It's like a career path now. They got classes you can take like in colleges. Like, this is a corporate like compartment of like, I mean, you get benefits and stuff now, you know? So, you know, if you really want to build out a career in this industry, like, now is a fantastic time to do it, you know? And it's still like kind of relatively new too, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of things that are being done for companies like are being done within, I mean, it's the first few years, you know? So it's a really good time to get into private security from where I'm sitting, man, from what I'm seeing for sure. What would you say the most important skill set is for an agent to have? We may have, well, I'll let you hit it.
Yeah. Okay. Let me say this.
Or describe the ideal private security operator.
Well, all right. So I'll blend those two together.
Solid.
You can teach skills.
Here we go. This is good stuff. I can feel it right here.
Well, you can teach skills, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I can show you how to, you know, put together a rifle, take apart a rifle. You know what I mean? Yeah. Put together an engine, take apart an engine.
Yeah.
Come into that. However, the thing that's, for me, if I'm hiring somebody or if I'm looking to get somebody into the industry to sponsor them, is what their character is, what their personality is. Like those pieces, man, that I can't teach that. You know what I mean?
And I don't want to be around you while you have to learn that on my time with my brand behind you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
Oh man.
So when you're coming in, that's what I want. Those are the things that I want you to have already worked on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, your character, the personality, your morals, and your ethics. Like those are the things that for me, in my opinion, make a good agent. And then the other stuff, like those are skills that if I want you, I'll send you out and get those skills. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I'll send you to Tony Scotti to become a great protective agent driver. But if you are gonna flip out and have road rage, like you know what I mean? Like, why would I
my money?
Right, yeah, what's the point?
You're a liability.
I want to get the guy who doesn't do that. You know what I mean? So I think it's personality, character. Those are the things that I'm looking for in people, man.
Yeah.
And the skills are like the bonuses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The skills are like, okay, cool. So obviously I want somebody well-rounded. But I think a lot of times, and that's why, man, I don't do any hiring anymore from resumes. You know, in the beginning of my career, I did it just like everybody else. I look at the CV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, oh,
that's
shit.
wisdom, yo. That is wisdom. I don't do any hiring anymore from resumes. I've seen it go horrible. I haven't made that statement yet, but man, that is fire right there.
Bro, and I'm speaking from experience how it's gone left for me.
Yeah.
But now, man, I'm going to meet you. I'm going to learn about you. I'm going to vet you, of course.
Yeah.
The things that you're saying, they got to be true. I'm going to vet you, and of course, your credentials are going to come into play. But I'm going to know who you are, bro. Yeah. And then before I put you with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, with my clients, you know what I mean? Before I start putting my name to you out there in the business, like those things are important, man. So I think when you ask what we're looking for, man, that's what I'm looking for. Like I'm looking for what's inside you.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to like the hard skills.
Tactics,
and, stuff like that.
I agree 100%. I always say like I can teach tactics, man, but character. I don't want to be around while you're learning your character deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, can I trust you? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's really the stuff because like they say, like a ship, if you look at the pattern of a ship from far enough away, like when you're on the ship, when I was at sea, I noticed this with the Marine Corps, you see, it looks like you're zigzagging through the ocean. Like you're cutting these like zigzags through the ocean. You look behind you, see zigzags. But as you zoom all the way out at 100 feet, you see the general consistent direction that the ship's actually heading. And I believe that's what character's like, man. I believe that like, you might have a good dude who does like one or two things right. You know, he's flavor of the month. He gets through the interview, honeymoon process, you know what I'm saying? But from a sufficient distance and with the sufficient time,
right, boom,
that character's going to show up. And they might forgive him once or twice, but it is an inevitability. It is an inevitable revelation that is going to be that character, you know. And that it kind of segues into another principle I have, which is like do no harm, you know. So like if I have a bad seed on a detail and I'm not in a position to deal with it, you know, like just coming up in the game, whenever I saw bad guys on details and doing things, I've almost always just let their character ruin them. Like they fall on their sword. You know what I mean? Like I just let them fall on their sword. You know what I mean? So you don't have to like, you know, all this backstabbing and Highlander stuff, you know. It's not necessary, man.
That's a great perspective. Sure.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's what's up. Let's see. What kind of what kind of staples or significant rituals would you say you have for that contribute to you being a better agent or a better person? So like in your daily, weekly flow, you know, what's it look like? What do you think really contributes to your game, you know?
Well, a few things. Probably one of the biggest things is I try and stay abreast on the industry. I read a lot. So you know, I'm trying to know what's happening in the world, but I'm also trying to know what's happening in our industry in terms of techniques and tactics and rulings and judgments and which way the wind's blowing. And I'm trying to stay on top of all of that because I don't want to go into situations blind. I don't want to go into situations uninformed.
Yeah, 100%.
And I want to stay sharp too. I don't want to feel like, man, I know everything. I've done it for so long. You know, there's new things and new perspectives, and it was funny. I just read a buddy of mine. I just reread a buddy of mine's book.
Okay.
And I got so much out of it the second time I read the book.
Yeah, it's crazy that happens.
Versus just like read a book and just put on the shelf, or you know what I mean? Like, and so I do that all the time. And I'll go back and reread stuff and look at things, and then now I can look at it and go back and be like, oh man, okay, I got something new out of that.
Yeah. You know what book are we reading, man?
Yo, I got a few. I got a nice little list of books here, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, let me know. Real curious.
All right, cool. Oh yeah, I've got a few, man. But the specific book I was talking about was Emergency Medical Planning for Events by Raphael DiGiorgio.
Okay.
That was a specific one I just read. But there's like a book by, I don't know if you know Dale June, but he did a book, Introduction to Executive Protection.
Okay.
And like, man, I can just crack that book open.
Yeah.
And it's stuff that you know, but it's like, it's good to read that again and know, you know what I mean?
It solidifies it, for sure.
So I got this philosophy called like kind of take it back to the basics.
Okay.
If I feel like I'm getting off track, I just break everything back down to like the basic levels, because that's what got us here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, remember your training, remember the things that you know what I mean, before you flavor
fundamentals, man. Fundamentals before you get cool.
So anyway, so that's a big piece, man. So I'm constantly reading. I'm like not, because a lot of people in our industry, particularly when you're doing halls and walls, you know what I mean? When you got downtime, like I try and fill my downtime with things that are gonna feed me, like good nutritious food versus junk food. You know what I mean?
Like not just entertainment, man. Like I'm downloading trash in my mind. Like my software is leveling up all the time. Like you will be hard pressed to find a moment where I'm not either being productive, like extrinsically, or intrinsically learning something that's going to make me more efficient or more productive. Because it's a principle my man Robert Greene talks about, resurrecting dead time, man. And in this game, we have so much dead time. You're waiting for a client, you're chilling in the chase, you're waiting at the thing. And it's like, if you don't got an audio book in or a book in your hand, you're wrong, man. You're wrong. If I catch you playing Angry Birds, like we'll be cool. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know what I mean? Like you're kind of wrong right now. Yeah. I mean, unless you have everything you want in life. If you do, do what makes
sense. I got a guy who I counsel pretty frequently, you know what I mean? And he's got a static post, you know what I mean? And every blue moon or whatever, I'll see him or something. And when I see him on his static post, that's like an overnight shift, on his phone, he's got like poker or solitary or something.
Yeah,
right?
like bejeweled or some crap.
You can do that same amount of energy, the same amount of time that you're killing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that same amount of time, like read a book, or you know what I mean, or watch a video, or just something that's going to be a benefit to you. Now, if you're going to be a world-class poker player, that's
get after it. Boom.
Boom. But if you're not trying to win the poker world tournament, then you should be doing something that's related to your industry. That's all I'm saying. So man.
That's huge. I hope that sinks in. That's such good stuff.
He's going to see this because watch.
That's what's up. No, but I couldn't agree more, man. I have done so much more while being I'm working on my master's. I got my associates and my bachelor's while working. I'm working on my master's while working. You know what I'm saying? I'm at like, my Audible library is at like 350 audiobooks, and I can't read. I can read, but I'm like a slow reader, dude. Like I had to work for it. Like none of that school stuff came easy. It still ain't coming easy. I mean, like half the reason I'm doing school is because it was such a challenge for me that I almost fled to the Marine Corps. Like I was like, I'm going to go fight a war, To now it's like a Goliath that I got to make sure I put all the way down. You know what I'm saying? So, do the thing you fear until the death of fear is certain. That's how I like to try to live my life. But this whole resurrect dead time piece, because like everybody wants to be at the top of the mountain. You know what I mean? But like, the reason you're not at the top of the mountain is because of the quality of the decisions you're making, and the quality of the decisions you're making is directly related to the quality of information that you have to make the decisions by. You know what I'm saying? Right. I sit here and I look at folks and I'm like, I can tell the manner of man you are by the manner of your problems. You know what I'm saying? very often. And so when I look at the way dudes deal with things and listen to the way they deal with things, whereas a guy like me or you that's been feeding our mind, I got so many other perspectives of individuals who've done so much more than me. I've got so much more life experience that I've downloaded from individuals who have just solved quality problems that are stratospherically higher than anything I've come in contact with.
Yes.
So then when I'm faced with like the everyday, you know, like we got 5 minutes to put the stroller in the car, you know what I mean, and get off the X, right? Like, it's a Tuesday. Put the stroller in the car. You know what I mean? Go find the seatbelt thing, you know? You know, so that software, man, that software makes all the difference. So that's a huge one. Anyways, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to let's drive that home.
But that's it, man. So I'm always trying to learn some shit.
Yeah.
And you brought it up just there too. Learn some things that aren't necessarily related to my industry directly, but then I can apply them to my industry. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like you giants in industry or you know, people that have solved, you know, world
problems, man.
And then you take that and then like the lessons that you get from that and then apply it to your challenges.
Yeah.
So that's one. Another thing, man, in terms of rituals, I think going back to what you were asking or whatever, like I realized that, again, my brain, I'm still 25, but I'm not still 25, right? So, and there's another generation of protectors that want my spot. Yeah. So I need to make sure that I'm optimized as possible, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I work out every day. I wasn't a fan of running a couple of years ago. Now I run. I changed my eating. I've always ate healthy, but I actually went vegan last October.
You went vegan, bro?
Yeah, I just hit a year.
Yo, one of my other good friends, big, strong dude.
Bro, I used to eat a steak a day. I ate a steak a day.
I got no idea what you're talking about. That's what's up. I mean, so.
Yeah. So, so the stuff that I'm putting in my body. So again, I'm just really big on just optimizing myself because I'm in it for a minute now. You know what I mean? I don't plan on retiring tomorrow, so, but I need to keep up with these guys. And I do, man. I just had a crew that was out with me. I had a team of 12 that was out with me just now. We just did a 60-day run with a client and
solid work.
And a couple of them were able to keep up with me, but a couple of them, hey, Elijah, to the gym today, and the pizza was open, so I just had, what I mean? They give me all on the line, guys. I'll see you in a bit,
Yeah. No, that's crazy. Now, on this vegan thing, just because this is happening. One of my other really good dudes in the industry just went and flipped that switch too. Another guy I really respect, man, I want to have on here that I know from working in Israel, man. Learned a lot from him this last go round. He switched over to vegan too. So dudes I respect around me are doing this, flipping this switch. Can I ask like why you did it and what you really like about it? What are the differences you've noticed? Because I know people are wondering.
Well, why I did it was because, again, in my mind, I've always ate healthy. So that was in my brain. But I knew I was purposely ignoring some things that weren't healthy. And again, this is
did you just
who are carnivores and stuff? But so the first thing I eliminated was dairy because I'm reading. Like I said, I read a lot. I'm reading that dairy isn't good for humans. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, whatever, right? I need it for my protein shakes,
Right.
So I eliminated dairy, I eliminated eggs, and then, and this is crazy, man. And again, you could cut this stuff for time.
Whatever.
But I was actually with a client who was at the studio, and I was in the green room. There were a lot of people in the green room, and there was like a documentary on or something. And this documentary was talking about how bad like meat was for you and all of this kind of stuff, right? Again, I know the stories already.
Yeah.
Playing in the background. As this guy is talking, I say to myself, I'm like, yeah, okay, I get all of that, but I need it for the protein because I work out so much because I have to, I got to for my job, I need to be physically fit.
Yeah, I need exactly.
Exactly. So I'm like, yo, I need it for the protein. I said this to myself. Literally, the guy on the screen says, yeah, for all you bodybuilders, for protein, he goes, where do you think protein comes from? And bro, I stopped, right?
It's like ruined it. You're like,
he's like, protein doesn't come from cows or chickens. He's like, protein comes from plants. And it was like a big ass light bulb went off in my head, right? Bro, I was like, I do know this, right?
Yeah, like get out of my head, dude. Oh man. That's
and literally from there, I was like, oh, okay, I have no excuse.
Yeah.
So I started researching like plant-based proteins. And that's what I do, man. So I changed my eating habits. I dropped mad weight at first when I first went on.
Yeah.
I made back up to my starting weight.
Yeah. Okay.
A year later, so I'm carrying the weight that I use, and then I have to eat a whole lot now. But my choices are very deliberate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
What I eat, what I don't, and again, I supplement. A lot of protein shakes and things like that. But again, I work out with the best of them. So
okay. And your energy level, like you just
it's off the roof. And again, I don't want to sound like there's some guys that are like hardcore. That's not me.
Yeah.
But my energy levels are crazy. I'm like, I've never been a morning person, but I can wake up in the mornings now and not be like groggy. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, bro, I love it. I really do. The tough part about it is particularly when you're on the road, sometimes the choices you have are the choices you have.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, man. Like on the road life, how do you synthesize that? Because that jams up everybody's diet,
I got a ton of bars in my go bag.
Okay, so they're gonna catch you slipping.
And bro, and when I eat, like, you know what I mean? Like, so if the detail is gonna start, if our lobby calls 8 a.m. or something like that, 7 a.m., 6 a.m., I'm making sure I'm because I don't know when I'm gonna get my next meal in there.
Carb load, yeah.
So it's tough. I mean, it's really tough. But for me, again, in my mind, this is a philosophy I have.
Yeah.
When you do protection work, you're always operating at a disadvantage. And the reason I say that is because bad guys get to choose a time and a place.
Right.
So we're always at a disadvantage.
Chasing the rabbit.
We're always.
Yeah.
So because of that, we have to cheat.
Yeah.
So we have to do things that stack
home field advantages.
Exactly. We have to do things that stack the deck in our favor a little bit.
Yeah.
So I applied it to me personally, which is like, as I get older, I mean, it's just the way of the universe. Things slow down, things break down.
Entropy.
So I'm gonna stay optimized for as long as possible. So this is my plan for that.
Okay. Boom.
So anyway, it's a lot of reading. Again, it's kind of this healthy lifestyle where I'm eating good in my mind, I'm eating clean for sure. And then I'm working out quite a bit. And then the other thing, man, and this is going to be a weird one, and hopefully I don't turn off all your listeners.
Nah, they going to be all right. They going to be all right.
Bro, I meditate now.
That's what's up.
Bro, it is crazy. In my brain, I've always thought like, oh yeah, because I've done martial arts since I was a kid. I'm like, I know what meditating is, Now I really meditate. And like, it's kind of cool because they have apps and shit now that kind of guide you through it.
Okay.
And so I do that daily, man. And I do this meditation and it just helps my focus. So what I do, and I apply that to EP.
Okay.
So because what happens is this meditation helps me focus. And I think in our business, that's something that, you know what I mean? Like,
that's
because
a real big thing,
because
man.
routine can creep in. You know how that goes, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And then if we're half a step behind, Murphy's Law steps in.
Yeah, or you're glazing over everything because you're so familiar.
Right, because like, oh yeah, I know what happens here. I know what happens when we turn this on. You know what I mean? I know the route to the run. You know what I mean?
For granted, complacency kills, man.
Yeah. So I do these lessons, man, that just help me with my focus. And again, that might not be for everybody.
Yeah.
My daily routine that I'm talking to you about.
No, I love it, man. This is the stuff. Yeah, I'm saying they on the outside they're looking in, and this is the stuff that builds them.
And guys, I got like a group chats and stuff with people that I mentor and stuff like that, and some of my peers or whatever. And I tell them the same thing or whatever. I'll post my run. I do a 4-mile run, 6.2 minute mile.
Okay, you're moving, bro.
I post what I eat, you know what I mean? My meal. I post the workout, and I post the 10 minutes of meditation that I do in the morning.
Get like me.
Now look, then if you want to do similar to what I do, you know what I mean? If you want to be in the game for as long as I'm in the game, those things, here's a blueprint. You don't have to do the exact same thing, but
here's the formula.
Here's a formula. It's one formula. You can do a different formula. Yeah. But here's one formula. So, and you know what I mean? And so that's kind of what we're talking about in terms of the no shortcut thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. It costs me way more money to eat healthier. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
But I mean, in doctor's bills, it probably.
Absolutely. That's what, for sure. You know, that when I have to get up early to go to the gym, particularly when we don't get in until super late.
Stupid late.
Like that's my sleep time I'm cutting into. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you have to have that discipline if you want the longevity, and that's the piece that I'm talking about. The longevity.
That is the discipline is like this most quintessential. Like I hear this talk of like what are the most valuable virtues. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Like, I don't know what it is, but I would surmise, I'd postulate, hypothesize that discipline is right up in there somewhere at the beginning of the base of some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like without discipline, you can like pretty much, you can do nothing. Like even if you believe in God, he needs you to be disciplined to get something done. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and you can do it. You just can't do it consistently.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's an event for you. Like it's a little on the thing. You know what I mean? Like it's an event for you. And I quake for guys that either haven't figured out a way to get that or haven't been put in a situation to really show them how to get that. I talk a lot about motivation, but yeah, man, that discipline is it's the game. It's like the whole entire game to me. Now that's good, man. There's so much to be said for the working out piece and the meditation piece. It's very interesting. Like I'm totally fascinated by this meditation deal because I've tried it before and I haven't really been able to do it. I know your brain is like a muscle in that it's like everything else in your body. You work it, you can get it, you can carve out advantages. We've carved out physiological advantages already that are visually obvious, so this brain thing, which is like the most just astounding thing that almost exists in the universe. You know what I mean? Like it's an amazing thing. Yeah. I really would like to someday really get into that and figure out how to get this meditation deal. So send me the apps you got on that.
Oh, I will, man.
Sure. Because with all the different things I'm managing, with the fluid nature of what we're doing, you know what I'm saying? Like managing stress, focusing, these are huge, huge, huge components for longevity and success. And then on top of that, man, like for me, I get my workout in, I'm in there about an hour and a half. For me, I've always said that's my meditation. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm in there, I'm working, I'm talking with myself, I'm spending my time with my creator, I'm problem solving. If I'm listening to, I got this mix that I have. It's on my YouTube channel called Moto Vids at the bottom. It's like 500 motivational videos that I've been consolidating for like the last 5 years. You know what I mean? So like I put that thing on shuffle and it's just like, people like Tony Robbins and Les Brown and Zig Ziglar, these and my man that Elon Musk and all these dudes, they're just like spitting their knowledge in these like sometimes 5-minute kind of clips with some motivating music because you got to have the beats, when you're in there. And when I go to face my day, and then I actually on the kind of meditative side of it, I have these things called binaural beats. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but they've been around for a long time. There's a lot of science behind them, but essentially when you're feeling certain emotions, or when you're feeling creativity, when you're feeling sad, happy, sleeping, all these things, your brain vibrates at a certain frequency. Okay. So they got some cool apps for this, you know what I'm saying? So
hey, let me tell you something. I guarantee you there's never been an EP program that's talking about this.
Right? And that's what's up.
Podcast about executive protection and security. We're talking about binary beats.
Yeah, man. And so it helps you entrain your brain. So like you can get in a certain state, in and out of a state. So I put on creativity and I run it behind all the motivational speakers and whatever music I'm listening to. And then before you know it, I'm just like, yo, just watch my video when I come out of the gym. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on the level, man.
Right.
And I'm ready to hit the day hard, you know? And that's kind of that's my morning ritual.
Yo, what's that? I want to try it too.
Dude, I'll send you the apps I got. I stand by them joints, man. I stand by it. So yeah, that's what's up, man. That's good stuff. Rituals for longevity, food, you know, your diet, working out, your mind game. Yo, do not neglect your software, you know, because that's what's running this whole entire thing. Mistake you've learned from. Yes, yeah, right?
Yeah, shit, a lot of them, bro.
You know, we just took a hard left on that.
Yeah, no, right? Yeah, you definitely did. Over-promising. That's a mistake that, because I think particularly, and I'm going to speak too as a business owner as well.
Okay.
In business, particularly in a capitalist society, what our thoughts are: get bigger, bigger, bigger. Get bigger, get more clients, get more staff, get bigger, get more clients, get more staff, get bigger. Like, that's the whole thing, make more money, you know? So that means that to these new clients that we're trying to bring in, we're constantly saying, hey, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. Like, you never want to say no.
Right, and promise bigger too.
Right. So what happens is that then you got to feed that beast. So then you got to bring guys in and put them in these positions.
Turn them into unicorns.
And just kind of hope that everything goes well.
Yeah.
So for me, man, I know, like, you know, one of my biggest mistakes in the industry, and I don't even want to say something like, because I think this sounds a little shallow, like trusting other people. But what I think is, for me, I'm going to own it, which is over-promising. Meaning that I thought for me to be successful, I had to have a business that was this large, generating this much revenue, employing this many people. But those are arbitrary numbers, right? Yeah. So if I'm just filling in the blanks, like, oh, okay, here's a slot open, I'm going to put somebody in here, or here's a client that I can't get, now I got them, then all of a sudden your quality starts dropping. You know what I mean? Or it has the potential to start dropping.
Yeah.
That's what I had to kind of stop and reevaluate and learn from. Like don't overpromise. Don't just say yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, here's just a good example. I just got a phone call about a client about a protectee that was going to be doing something internationally, and their staff kind of reached out to me, right? Okay. And this isn't somebody I've worked with before. And I looked at the op and the mission specs or whatever, and the personality of the protectee, and I was just like, I don't think I'm going to be the right fit for that. You know what I mean? Yeah. The old me would have been like, hell yeah.
I can do it. I can do it 8 times.
Oh, man. Like, yes. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, yo, I don't need to chase after every shiny thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't need to, like, it's and again, for me, it's like the game isn't just like bigger. That's not what it is. My thing now goes in a different direction in terms of my motivators. Mm-hmm. But the thing that I learned was, particularly when I thought that's what it meant to be successful, which was get more and more accounts, over-promising. Like that was the lesson that I learned. Like, you know what I mean? Particularly because you can't clone yourself. Not yet, anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the things that you might think and the decisions you might make, you know, you might expect members of your team to do that or members of your staff to do that.
That's wisdom, man.
But if they don't, you know what I mean? Whose fault is that? You know what I mean? That's on you.
And that's on your brand. That just happened on your brand.
It was like, yo, you sold me on this. You know what I mean? You know, particularly, you know, with me, because I'm very closely interwoven tied with my brand. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, obviously, with corporations, like, you couldn't tell me who the president of, you know, Ford Motor is right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, but I'm really tied to my brand very closely. Like, you know who Zuckerberg
Icon is, and
you know what I mean? Exactly. So anything that's going to affect that is going to come right back to me. And so So I had to learn that, like, because of that, because I can't be in two places at once, because I can't have my hand involved in every situation, you know what I mean? Feeling all the way down, that sometimes it's better just to say no, just to let this one pass.
Yeah, 100%. I think that comes with time and experience and maturity, you know. That's one of those lessons.
Yeah, one of them life lessons, man. And it's one that I tell new business owners, I tell them that now. Whether they listen or not is a whole different thing.
Yeah, like it's just one of those lessons that you tell somebody who's hungry and they're like, yeah, you do that. Right. Yeah, I mean, they're like, okay, you know, like,
it makes sense, sure, whatever. Right?
Yeah, but then after you've done taking a couple laps, you know, and you get, you know, and you've taken some hits and you felt the stress of trying to deliver. You know what I mean? And your mouth outruns you, and you felt that. Then you start to realize, man, and then you have the perspective to look at that client or that contract profile, like you were saying, and be like, I know what this is. You know what I mean? And like,
that's not it.
That's not it. Yeah, exactly.
I'll be okay without.
You know? Yeah, exactly. You know, so that's wisdom. That's like, you know, for any of the young bucks listening or any of the other anyone listening, that this is what you can fast forward to if you have the wisdom to really like implement information. You know, knowledge is potential power, but that right there can save you some heartache. No, that's good, man. And also it empowers you to be in a position to, when you say yes to your client, it's very meaningful. And when you say no to your client, it's very meaningful. You know, your yes is your yes and your no is your no, you know,
right.
Because they know you're not going to overpromise them. What do you mean you can't get me a purple giraffe that plays the drums? Like, sir, I just, yeah, I mean, I just can't, you know, respectfully, you know, drop it the way you need to. But, you know, you want to shut that down, because another principle I talk about, what it takes to get your girl, it takes to keep her. Yo, you start making them promises. You're going to make a bed you can't sleep in. You're going to make a bed. You're going to outbid yourself. You know what I mean? Oh, wait. How come Byron didn't do 3 jumping jacks before walking in the house today? He was doing that when he first started. Yeah, I mean, like, don't, you know, because, you know, you get on the detail. You want to impress the client. You got the red carpet out. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're doing everything. But just remember, what it takes to get your girl, it takes to keep her. So
I have the same one. I call it getting the tarmac.
Getting the tarmac.
Getting the tarmac. You know, when you can set it up so that you can get the car out to the tarmac where the people can get on the plane from there.
Yeah.
You can start.
Yeah.
One time.
There it is.
When the FBO was like, nah,
nobody does it.
Yo,
this is real right here. It's so real. It's so real. Oh, man. What happened? What happened?
Right? You're losing it, Elijah. You know what I mean? Why not even put myself in that position, right?
Yep. And you're just sitting there like, yep. And there was just some little old lady at the front desk was like, we only do that for the president here, sir. You can't even pay her to do it. Oh, man. That is so real. You getting the tarmac today, huh, bro?
That's what I call it. Anytime we're in a situation like, I'm like, think about this, Elijah. You're getting ready to set a precedent now.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that is so true. Yep, because they're getting then they get in the limo with you, and you're losing it. Like what happened? We gotta walk. Yes, sir. We're just gonna have to walk to the. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I love how, like, just when you're in the field, you end up having these parallel principles that guide. You know what I'm saying? It just happens from just getting your licks. You know. Oh man. Venue security details, do's and don'ts. So this is kind of a large brushstroke here. What kind of mindset do you think? What's an ideal executive protection mindset? So, boom, you're on a detail. Where is your mind when you're working through that detail? You know, what do you think? What's the frame of mind guys should go through? Considerations, you know.
I think one thing is that everyone should have a clear objective. Meaning like like whatever the movement is, you know what I mean? Whether it's taking the P to the stage, going to a restaurant, you know what I mean? Getting on an international flight.
Yeah.
Like you should have that end goal, and
Yeah.
then you're gonna say, okay, these are the pieces that are necessary for that to happen. And I mean, every member of the team should have that. And then this is the thing that I'm responsible for. And then the last thing is, if something goes wrong, this is what I do.
Yeah.
And I think if you have that and you apply it to every movement, every time, then like you have some clear direction and you have a contingency plan.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is I think some of us only do that with important shit. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's when mistakes happen.
It's the Grammy Awards, or the cameras are on now, or you know what I mean? Or the client said this one's a big deal. But really, we should be applying that all the time, all of those steps every time, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%.
And then you develop muscle memory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You always do it. It's your little mental checklist there, or whatever. And then if something happens, because again, I'm a firm believer in Murphy's Law.
Yo, Murphy's got a baseball bat, man. I know he does, bro. And when you're not looking,
I'm like, yo, man, you're not gonna catch me slipping,
right? The one time, man. This is the only time I didn't bring the thing. Murphy, bam.
For sure. So yeah, man. I think that. So I think the mindset really needs to be like, what's my overall objective, and then what's the thing I'm responsible for, and then if shit happens, what are we doing? You know what I mean? But apply that to everything, the big stuff and the small stuff.
100%. No, I couldn't agree more, man. Like, boom, you're going through the detail and you're thinking about what is my like present deal that I have to do to help us get to where we're going to get. And if something happens from here to there, boom, this is where I'm going. That's where I'm going. This is where I'm going. This is our plan, you know. You know, he's going to meet me here. We're going to do this. No, that's awesome. That's good stuff.
Well, and let me say this too, though, with that. And the reason that's important is because you're going to fill those thoughts with something.
Yeah, you are.
You know what I mean? And if you're not thinking about that, you're going to be thinking about something. And if that something is like, damn, I can't wait to get home to eat or see my girl.
What the girl's doing.
Back home, or, you know what I mean? Whatever that is, right? You know,
yeah.
That's when you're going to miss that step, or you're not going to pick up on something.
Yeah, you're going to miss that detail, that left of bang target indicator that you could have caught, or you're going to have that 1 or 2 seconds of reaction time. This could cost you, you know, even if it's just humiliation. You know what I'm saying? Like, because shoot, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. Let your client let your client see you hesitate or not catch something just for a split second. Yeah, I mean, they can lose trust and hope that, yeah, I mean, like, did you see that car with the tinted windows when I was, and you know what I mean? Like, you got to be on your game, you know, like, it's serious. And that's a bigger threat to you than a lot of things as an operator, you know. No, that's huge, man. I couldn't agree more. And because, like, I know that your firm does a lot of celebrity stuff, music stuff within the music industry, a lot of those types of VIPs. What types of issues does that clientele really like? What types of issues does that clientele come with that are specific to that demographic that, you know, you can offer some intel, some moves on?
Well, I think what happens is that sometimes, particularly guys want to just get in the industry.
Yeah.
Is that, or even people start moving into the celebrity space who already do, you know, some other type of close protection work, is they think it's one size fits all. And that's not true. Like, and that's the piece I try and stress, man, because there's a component that happens when you're dealing with these celebrities that you don't necessarily see when you're in the corporate arena or something like that. And the reason boils down to something I call business norms and practices.
Man.
Like, you know what I mean? So
that's a perfect compartment for that.
Business norms and practices. Yeah. Like, you know, most executives on the corporate arena, they understand business norms. Like, you know what I mean?
It's culture.
I can do this. I'm not supposed to do this.
Right.
If I do this, HR is going to give a call to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's culture.
On the celebrity side, man, this dude was working at McDonald's. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he just had a hit record. You know what I mean? Like, you know, this guy went from high school to the major league. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he doesn't know he's not supposed to do this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Nor does he really maybe care.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that so so we have to tailor our responses and our expectations going in. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We are gonna get surprised. Like, I see it all the time, man. You hear about these celebrities that carry a gun in their bag through the TSA checkpoint.
Yeah.
They do that. What the heck? What's going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yo, nobody tells them no to anything. Half the time they don't pack their bags.
Right.
Maybe they did pack their bag this time, but they don't even correlate the two things. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
but
they didn't even think about it.
Right. But then people were like, well, they have security with them. How come? Well, yeah, it's because the security's not even thinking about the fact that this type of VIP doesn't know any better.
Right, exactly.
You should.
And probably hasn't told them no enough yet. Like, they're literally in the car probably like, yo, are you going to tell them? I understand. yeah, I mean.
But so that's what I mean. So, I mean, it's understanding that mentality. So I think what happens is we try and paint all these VIPs with the same brush.
Yeah.
With the same brush, and you can't. You have to realize, particularly in the celebrity arena, man, that they process things differently. Their responses are different.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I always kind of say, and people think it's like a bad thing, but it's not. I say celebrities have a narcissistic personalities. Narcissistic personalities mean it's me, right? I think that's one of the things that makes them great. That's what drives them. That separated them from the pack. You know, and this person, the star out of the singing band of 20 in high school.
Right.
You know,
you have to have that.
The narcissistic personality where it's just about them.
Yeah.
But because it's just about them, they're going to make decisions that normal people are like, yo, what are you doing?
Right.
So we have to understand as protectors so that we can either anticipate or maybe even say no. Like, you know, I'm just working with this type of client. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I think, again, if we go in there with a one-size-fits-all mentality, thinking that they understand business norms and practices, thinking that that their responses to behaviors would be the same as anyone else's, you're going to be wrong.
You're going to be wrong, and you're going to be terribly mistakenly wrong.
Yeah, right. You could be right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You can be right, but you're just not going to get paid anymore, so you're wrong. You know what I mean?
But go into it knowing that, man. For sure.
Don't bleed on the carpet on your way out. You were right today. Have a nice day, sir. You know what I mean? And that's if the house mouse gets to tell you to leave. You know, that's if the butler gets to see you out, you know?
Right.
Man, no, that's good, man. That's what's up. I have learning to survive in their world, you know, and coming from, you know, you came from, you know, Chicago, inner city, you know, I came from a third world country in the Bahamas, man. You know, that's interesting. You know, I'm thinking about the things that have really helped me survive in that world, you know, of an individual who can pretty much get whatever they want, pretty close to it, you know. And little boy from Bahamas is up in here, trying to survive and watching dudes, you know, watching things change around me. And, you know, it's interesting. It's I would say if there were some principles, I'd say you just gotta make sure that, I always say this one, and I don't know how this is going to hit, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I look at clients like trying to have a pet lion. You know what I'm saying? So like dudes be trying to be buddies and bodyguards, as they say, oh yeah, no, we're cool. It's all good. It's not all good, dude. You know what I mean? Especially if this is old money, they're used to dealing with people coming in and out, you know, of their life and being in this position and the flux of it and everything. The reason that they were so cool with you when you got here is because there's been a dozen other people in your position. They just know how to flow. You know what I mean? Yeah. And on the other side of that, you know, there's a whole bunch of other dynamics, but the whole thing for me is I think about trying to have a pet lion. The lion's cool. The lion's nice. This is all good. But at any moment, if you get it twisted, until it's not, you step wrong, whatever it is, you know, the whole entire world can change.
The best part of that is, you can't be mad at the lion.
Yeah, you can't be mad at the lion. Exactly. Yes, exactly. When you're driving home and you messed it up, bro. You know what I mean? And sometimes the lion might just smack you around. You know what I mean? You got, it's just the game, you know?
Yo, that's great analogy.
You know, you think it's all good till it's not. You just,
It's not, right.
I go to work a lot. And and honestly, like whenever I'm like body close, a lot of times body close with my client, there's something that just helps me stay on my game. And it's something that, you know, in Iraq, that's kind of how I would always think, like, yo, this could be my last day. Do the best I can. By the grace of God, maybe I'll come home, maybe I won't. But I'm gonna do the best I can today. When I go with my clients, it's the same thing. I'm like, yo, I don't care where you come from. I don't care how far you've come. I don't care. I don't care. If you mess up today, this could be your last day with this client. Nobody cares, bro. You're at square one. You know what I mean? Like every single day. Like maybe all that training has helped you. Maybe if you can get through today without making any type of mistake, catastrophic mistake. And that could be a social mistake. That could be a tactical mistake, you know? So that's kind of how I bring gravity to myself before I sign on and cross that line of departure with, you know, with my clients and things like that, man. That's good to go. No, thanks, man. Challenges of performing executive protection internationally. We're winding down. We got a few last. This is like the last big question.
So one, I mean, I think it's, like I talked about earlier, it's amazing that this industry will allow you to do that. You know what I mean? It will take you like all over the world, man. But we have to make sure that we realize that if we're going over the world, going somewhere else, we're still someone else's guest.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I think a lot of times, particularly when guys come, man, you know, they come from, you know, maybe a military background or, you know, they come from a government background or something where they're used to having all of these resources backing you and a support system there. That doesn't exist in the private sector.
No,
you know what I mean?
It doesn't.
So if you go there throwing your weight around a little too much, you know what I mean? You know, getting the door shut on you is polite. Like, you know what I mean? It can be polite, you know.
And so, being an American, like, you're kind of trying not to get the door shut on you in the first place for being there.
I'm trying to say, right, yeah. But that's the trap we fall into, particularly if we just, you know, when we're at home with the way the country is right now, we're so insular. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
We just think it's about this and this. But overseas, one, that there's a perception of us anyway that carries over there, you know.
That we have to fight. And
they've got all of the things that happen in those particular environments. So we have to learn that, man. You know what I mean? So there's people think, oh man, hey man, I want to do what you do. I want to go overseas or whatever. And like, all right, what can you tell me about that country? Yeah. And they start getting quiet. You know what I mean?
Because if you can step into that country and demonstrate that you've taken the time to learn something about that country, instant social proof, instant rapport, doors open.
For sure. And not only that, but it's not just getting on the plane, getting off the plane and working. Like, you know what I mean? Like you need to know the things to navigate, the mindfalls, who to talk to, who not to talk to. All of those things happen before you get on the plane.
Before you get there.
And so again, like everything else we've been talking about today, there's so much that happens behind the curtain. There's so much research that goes into, you know what I mean? Like I do an assessment of every place I go to, right? The guys on my team, they might not have to do that country assessment, but it gets done. You know what I mean? And so if you were in a similar position, that doesn't mean just okay, I'll just show up at the airport.
Right.
You could be entered into a shitstorm, you know?
Yeah.
And so man, the plus of that, the upside is that this business will take you to some amazing places, man.
Yeah.
Like, there's some shit that is amazing, right? The flip side to that is that if you go in there feeling entitled, if you go in there thinking that you can boss people around, you know, or that you got to get out of jail free card just because you're an American, yo, you could be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, right. You say the wrong thing at customs, you'd be there all day, man.
Hey, kidding? Yes, bro. Yeah, absolutely. You know.
Yeah.
I was with tell a story. There was a guy in our entourage who went to the UAE, and he
the UAE.
We were at an event, and he was outside checking on the car.
And you got to be real careful over there. Like, you got to be real careful.
He saw a fight. He thought it was funny, amusing. and he started videotaping it.
Yep. Yep.
Bro, when I tell you,
yep.
how much sweet talking, verbal judo,
yep.
like what I had to do to get him this, man. You know, and it's like, and he was just like, oh, I didn't know. You know what I mean? And the guy, you know, it was the guy he was videotaping just happened to be an undercover agent who was doing drug enforcement.
Oh my gosh.
And this guy, he said, he goes, hey, Elijah, if I go to your country and I run a red light, you're still going to give me a ticket. So ignorance of your laws doesn't make you exempt. You know what I mean? And I was like, I couldn't even argue with that.
You're like, just mercy. Can we just?
Exactly. Bro, I hit it with so many yes sirs, no sirs.
Right. Respect down payments. Just respect. You know. Oh man. Did dude get out? Like, was he good? He was good. Man,
about 3 hours later, man. Yeah, it was.
They at least had to hook him up a little bit, you know, mess with him.
Definitely, they jammed him up for sure. You know, they put him in cuffs, took him to the station, and
golly, boy,
I had to jump in the car to head out with him, but I go to the station inside, and then all of this stuff is transpired that he recorded was on his phone, right?
Yeah.
It was on his phone, so you know the different people in law enforcement are looking at it, right? And so look.
Oh man!
They tell him, like, you know, pull the video up, right?
Yeah.
He pulls the video up, and he thinks in his mind he's doing something good. He deletes the video, right? Thinking, okay, the problem is solved. I just hear the guy go, "Did you just delete the evidence?" And I'm like, "Oh,
golly!" Right when did you just delete the evidence? like what do you even do? Like what? It was
like a reality show, bro. It was like I was on the other side of the room and I heard this and I was like, oh man.
And you're like,
and we were supposed to be wheels up about 5 hours from there because this was
that Murphy stuff, right?
I was like, oh man, we're screwed.
Yeah.
The saving grace was this was a couple years ago, and this was right when iPhones had that undelete feature where you can go the trash and bring it back. That's the only thing that saved him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was pretty bad.
Did you just delete the evidence? Right in front of him.
He thought he was doing like, he's like, oh no. He's like, I'm sorry. Okay, here. And you just see the two guys. It was like a comedy skit.
Yeah.
The two guys look down, look back up, and they were like, did you just delete the evidence?
Oh man. And that's just one of those like you can't even we would have been on the car ride home and I don't even know if I would have said I don't even know what I would have been able
we end up in the investigator's office and we're sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
By the grace of God, they allowed me to sit in there with him, right?
Yeah.
As the investigators kind of read him the riot act, I have my hand on his knee, squeezing it, like when your mom's like at a parent teacher conference. Yeah. And I'm like, don't
shut up.
Don't say nothing,
right? Yeah, he ruined it.
But look, here's the best part of this whole thing, man. And again, you can cut all this stuff for time.
It's all good.
When we got on the plane, I started, because again, we flew the next day, the next morning, hours. By the time we got out, the sun was coming up, went back to the Ron, grabbed the bags, headed to the airport.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm on the plane, and I'm still hot, man, because this is not how I expected to spend my night. And that wasn't my protectee. So I had other guys with the P at the time. So as we were on the plane, I started researching, and I found out about, I think it was about a year before that, there was a guy who was about 70 years old. He went there for a conference.
Uh-huh.
He took a picture of a sign, the sign that said, don't take pictures of government buildings. And they arrested him for that. He was in jail for 3 months. Listen, they don't have to give you a phone call. So his family didn't even know where he was. He was 70-year-old grandfather, right?
Golly.
His family didn't know where he was. One of the guards felt sorry for him about 3 weeks into this.
Yeah.
And gave him his cell phone to call home.
Yeah.
He calls home. Of course, the family then calls to get a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
A lawyer over there won't talk to you without $10,000 retainer because they know you got to pay it.
Yeah.
So they're not even taking the calls for you can't have a consult until you send them 10K, bro. All of this is a picture of a sign. He didn't get out for 3 months later. When he got out, his fine was $40.
It's like, Cat, it's just unbelievable. It's just, but it happens. That's how they roll.
Rules, that's their laws. You know what I mean? They didn't do any. It sounds foreign to us, but that's the thing. And again, that was the kind of whole point of this whole thing, and me telling this story. But it's 100% true.
It is 100% true.
And I'm on the plane, and we have a group chat, and I sent it to all of them. I was like, bro, this was you.
This was about to be you.
I didn't see you being pulled out of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, man. God bless him. Jeez. Golly, grandma was praying back home at that exact time. Like, golly, man. That's huge.
Almost made it home.
Yeah. Jeez. Anyways, that's what's up. Nah, man. That's what I got for you, man. That's good stuff, man.
Don't talk to me.
No, for sure. That's a lot of good stuff here, man. There's a lot of good stuff. I mean, on the international tip, always remember you're someone else's guest. That's huge, man. Customs and courtesies, default respectful. Do your research before going into the country, man. Find out your do's and your don'ts. You don't want to be ignorant. You know what I'm saying? You're already American.
Yeah.
It's almost like being black in some cases. I don't mean, but like, you know what I mean? Right. Look at you some kind of way, all right? So you've got to overcome stereotypes now that are attached to you, and it really goes well if you can show that you value other people's cultures. That's really what I find, man. Sure. It takes us real far. So, boom, man. I think there's a lot of good stuff in here for guys that are in the industry and getting in the industry to mess around with. Yo, what is you and your firm doing now? And where can we find you, brother?
Oh, well, like I said, I just got off the road for a bit right now. So hopefully find me on my couch for at least the next 3-4 days.
That's what's up.
Just catching up on some movies. But again, we're heavily in the celebrity arena. So most of the guys that are doing the work right now are off with their various protectees and stuff. And I just get to be in the office and just kind of make sure things are going good from a top level. And then I also do a training course. And so I do a training course in conjunction with ESI, the Executive Security International, which I also sit on the board of directors for those guys. But so I've got a celebrity protection and behavioral intelligence course, and our next one's in November, like November 17th, 18th, and 19th. It's a 3-day course. I have to kind of squeeze it in between my operational stuff. But that's the next thing we've got going on, man. And, if anybody wants to, reach out to something, they can always email me. It's e.shaw@elijahjshaw.com. So Shaw at elijahjshaw.com, or you can catch me on these Instagram stuff or Facebook, and that handle or Twitter is Sunsear, SUNSEAR.
Yeah. And then your elijahjshaw.com is your website.
Yep.
Solid, man. That's what's up. Hey, like I said, such an honor to have you on here, man. I look forward to
glad we're able to catch up like this.
Yeah, 100%. Now I look forward to our paths crossing again and everything too. So thanks so much for coming on, brother.
All right, man. I'll hit you offline and we can talk about those apps and stuff like that.
Okay, solid. No, for real. All right, brother. Sounds good. Okay, cool. Later.